the queen of African music, Miriam Makeba herself, would join the boys with a song or two.
Le grand trek s'est constitué autour de 6 chefs. Piet Retief fut l'un d'entre eux. Il gagna l'intérieur des terres, franchit une énorme chaîne de montagnes, le Drakensberg, et alla à la rencontre des Zoulous dans le Natal actuel. Il conclut des traités avec Dingaan, le roi des Zoulous, garantissant aux Boers des terres Zoulous. Cependant, peu après, les Zoulous exterminèrent Piet Retief et les siens. Cela aggrava davantage encore le conflit entre les colons Boers et les Zoulous. Tant et si bien que cela déclencha une bataille, la bataille de la Blood River, la rivière sanglante, qui opposa 460 Boers à 12 000 Zoulous. Le sang de plus de 3 000 Zoulous morts au combat avait teinté les eaux de rouge. C'est à ce moment-là que la puissance des tribus noires a commencé à s'étioler. Cette année, en 1993, nous avons retracé le parcours des colons Boers pour voir ce qu'il reste du rêve d'une terre promise.
slag om te eet.
Maak julle 'n braai vanaand?
Ja.
Net zo op de TV nog.
Kijk, ons is maar verkeerde mensen hier zo rond. Hier zo sê. Ons is liever anders klerig as hier zo rond. Hulle gee ons land weg. Ek weet nie, ek stem nie saam met die storie van hulle nie. Ek kan nie daarvoor om die spulletjie op te deel onder hulle nie. Dis verkeerd. Ons regering van die dag is verkak ook. Erg. Ek weet nie. Net kyk, ons vat nou bijvoorbeeld hulle. Wat die lewenstyl wat hulle het, wat hulle gehad het, wat hulle nou het. En ons wat blank is, moet ons vrek sukkel om 'n paar sente in die hande te kry om te kan oorleef. En hulle gaan al hoe meer vooruit en vooruit en hulle kry al hoe meer en kry al hoe meer. Dis maar moeilik, ek weet nie. Dit gaan nie uitwerk nie. Nie op die oomblik nie, hulle is nie bevoegd daarvoor. Hulle is nog nie so ver vorentoe nie, intellektueel glad nie. Glad nie. 1 uit 1 miljoen miskien ja. Maar hulle is nog nie daarvoor reg het. Glad nie. Ja. Ek sal liewer hier bly waar ek is en my hier beklei.
Wat is die solusie dan vir jou?
Vir my?
Ja.
Kyk, 'n swart regering gaan glad nie werk nie. Ek glo nie 'n swart regering nie. Daar moet hulle wegbly. Hulle moet dit hou, maar daar moet baie dinge verander. Kyk, de Klerk gee al hoe meer toe in die buiteland. En kyk wat is ons vandag. Ek weet nie. Hulle moet maar... Nee, wacht.
Gaan je lekker braai hou vanavond?
Definitief, ja.
Ja, nou je betaald. Ja. Ja.
Arms jongens, hulle breek so. Ja. Dis Pieter TV, wat die eet aflê. Sit hom nader. Ja, daar een hand van hom sit hom daar so op die Bybel. Sit hom nader. En sit sy haar op.
Je weet niet of je het wat is die? Hier is het. Hier is het. Ook je excess had op je baas met je zien, je zegt iets zonder dat je roept aan.
Oh nee, maar ik heb niet gehoord. Maar het is niet hier aan die.
Wat aan die? Wat aan die? Hij wordt al toch zo alleen.
Ja,
hier man.
Wie?
Nou zie je bij de rechte man, want ik is nog goed helse kapie en rebellen en naast en enige ding. Want dat is verkeerd. Wie sê vir ons om die land weg hier? Niemand het sê de Klerk wat deur Amerika aangery word om te sê keer die land weg. Maar as Amerika vir hierdie ou de Klerk sê spring en spring sommer die berg af. Daai man sê net hy wil dit en hy wil dit en alles word hulle gegee. Ek kan nie vir jou sê dat ek nodig sê wat hulle moet maak nie. Maar dis 'n kwessie van die man het net gekollaps en die regering het sy mag verloor op elke gebied in die wêreld. Hy het verder geen seggenskap meer nie. Want wat Mandela sê, de Klerk, Mandela maak die wette en de Klerk voer dit uit. Daar is geen ander regering vandag in die land nie uit. Kyk, want in my oog met Mandela aan bewind kom, wie ever aan bewind kom, behalwe die nasionale regering, dit kan nooit ooit slegter gaan as wat nou gaan. Hulle lieg en bedrieg en besteer ons en met ons die publiek net totaal by die foto wat hulle maak. Ja, kom bietjie. Ja. Hulle het nie die reg om te stem nie, want hulle is mense wat nie eens weet hoe om te stem nie. Ek weet hulle kan maar sê hulle is nou, ag nee, ek kan eintlik nie die politiek praat nie. Ons vroeg daar in die dorp gestaan, die môre op die aan, hoe jy op my hande skree. En hulle het die boere se vee gevang, en hulle het allemaal uitgegroeid, daar nie een oors vandag nie. As jy stel toe kom, ons hier op die hande, daar het oors by jou rond, en nou vandag is daar niks. Ek sal ook nooit die dier doodmaak nie. Want het is 'n deel van my lewe om diere te sien. So. Ek hoor ander mense kry hy wat so, wat hulle sê trigger happy, hy wil net doodskiet en skiet om die geluid van die koel te hoor, nooit nie. Hulle mense maar, as 'n man my eers kom en hy vertel my hoe hy geskiet so, en hy daar so geskiet, dan loop ek sommer weg, ek luister nie wat hy sê nie. Want ek is nie gemaak van man om te sê, om het goed dood te maak nie.
Why are you doing ostriches?
Huh?
Why are you farming ostriches?
To make a living.
Do you give them names?
No.
You're not sentimental to that, huh?
But I can't afford to be sentimental. I've handled them for 3 months now. Yesterday, while they were 3 months old, I've handled them day after day, 5 times a day. I've showed them babies how to eat, when to drink water. 6, 7, 8, 20 times a day you must go and show them what they must do. 3 months they work between 450 and 500 rand each. I need the money. They must go. I've saved through the beautiful, lovely years I've saved for this time. Now I want my money. They must pay me out my own fund.
Dan, what do you think of the reforms happening in this country? How does it affect you and your lifestyle?
Me being a very, very, very far-right person, it is absolutely, the country is gone, finished in blood.
What do you think of the negotiations?
There's a lot of nonsense. It's propaganda. Nobody, not even Mandela, can control these people. The clerk can control him, nobody can control, not the AWB can control his personal people. Everybody is jockeying for power.
So you think there's chaos?
It's chaos. It's the beginning, it's chaos like the rest of Africa.
So what do you want to do? You want to leave this country?
Oh, I can't leave, I'm too old.
Would you leave if you were younger?
Depends where.
Oh, that's a problem. That's to go to anymore.
Yes.
Huh?
Depends where. If there's a future somewhere, I would leave immediately, but where, I don't know. I'll have to my ear, but I'll fight for it. I can tell you that.
What's going to happen to the farmers on the farm? With the new government?
That is a difficult one. We will go back to a third world. In the third world, the farmer is nothing. Never been. In the third world, the farmer has never been anything. We are going back there.
You've got no hope for the future?
No, not at all. Not under this present system. There's no hope whatsoever. I'm sorry if I disappoint you. I've got no hope.
Wat gaan die alweer beer maak?
One day when one day when these bloody other hordes of them start going back, then we will fight them.
Hoe sal julle hulle?
We will find a way.
But Dan, you've got so many people working for you, black people. What's the relations with these people?
Absolutely marvelous. I've never, in this propagandistic stories about hate and things, that there is no such thing. I respect every person in his own right.
But then how does it work? I mean, the AWB wants its own country, right? It wants its own white work country. What do you want to do with all your black workers?
They can still work as guest workers, like they've always done. I have got no fight with him. I've got the best relationship. Everybody will jump on my lorry. I can tell you, they love to work for me because I pay them a decent wage. I've been born here as my world. I just simply love it. Oh, yeah, I love it. The loneliness, the quietness, the Karoo, to me is only the number one place in this country, and number second is the Northern Transvaal Bushveld.
Hey, I'm free. Peter Tief grew up on this farm and then moved to the Eastern Cape, Grahamstown area. I'm descended from his brother. We are the people who stayed here and did not trek.
What's happening?
Well, now we're picking grapes for my cousin. He's only got a small plot, about 3 hectares, and he hasn't got sufficient labor to pick his grapes.
Yes, but they have trouble because there isn't that much grapes there, as you expected. Yeah, it was about 40.
No, it only dropped with the water on it, with the water dried up.
Yes, luckily. It's nice that we've got the wind.
We've got a bit of a paternalistic attitude still. And we accommodate not only the man who works on the farm, but his family, and if he's got a relative who is a bit old already and can do only a small amount of work, we accommodate him, we still pay him his wage. And if a union comes in, then I select the best people I've got and tell the others, go off the farm, go away somewhere else, I don't want you. You know, that is the dilemma that I think we're going to be in. Because if the unions are going to demand wages which we can't pay or can ill afford, then we'll have to get rid of the weaker people. And because the farmer works with the bottom line of the labor, it's going to be difficult. Because where else will those people go if the farmer can't accommodate them?
Hey, thank you, Flip. Yes, I'm the son of Dan.
And the guy working next to you has been working in the family how long? Tell me a bit about it.
Well, he's been working on our farm at, not he himself, but his family was at least 100 years on our farm, together with Usher Tiefs. And his great-grandfather helped on our farm in the early days. He was the foreman of one of our farms. and we have a very good relationship, especially with him, and he's one of our best workers. I think the young people, they've decided to, really, we've got to build this country. We can make this country a big country in the Southern Hemisphere. Probably one of the best in Africa. And there's no way of turning back. We have to look forward to what's going to happen, and we must do the best of the situation. There's great reasons for violence, and some of those reasons have to be dealt with. And as soon as there's stability in our country would develop again. And there would be people from overseas that would invest in our country. But we're having trouble, that's for sure. But I won't think that would last long. As soon as we have an interim government, violence would stop.
Our biggest problem is to have a peaceful transition to maybe a black government or a government of national unity. And that is the worrying part, is that the lost generation, as we always hear about, the children of 1976 who were taught that first freedom and then education, which was a wrong philosophy. They are lost because they have no education, and I think it is that generation which is causing most of the unrest and trouble.
It's funny, if I think our support through the small business, how many families? 8, 9, 10, about 12 people that we've got employed. And, you know, I think, okay, they earn a salary of, say, 500 Rand a month or 600 Rand a month. And it sounds little, and what do you do with it? You know, and then I think, I don't think I'll be able to work for that money. You know, I never will. I'll also be a rebel. But they somehow do, you know, and I mean, they keep their families alive. And at the end of the day, then I also think I'm more or less as locked as they are here, you know. I think the whites in this country just are, lots of them, like myself, sit with a type of a guilt complex, you know. And but I don't think that's necessary at all. I mean, you know, I think the white in this country has lived too well for a long period, and there's a lot of uplifting and meeting each other, but we prepared for that. There's no doubt about that. I mean, I think you can even see it. I think most people, even your conservative radicals, will just, you know, I don't think personally that the right in this country is as strong as it is. I really don't think so. I think, I'm not conservative at all. I mean, I've got
I think the South Africans are far too scared of change. I think if the ANC comes in power, I don't really think it will affect people's life that much as the South Africans are scared of. Things that affect your life is the economy. If whatever happens in the economy, then people, when everybody makes less money, there is more violence, more burglaries. But I really think we should just move on and get the changes over with.
We will seek the same form of stability in government in the Republic, which should ensure stability too in the economic life of the country. Not for us the sudden constitutional upheavals which created dictatorships in certain parts of Africa, chaos in the Congo, and forms of multiracial government elsewhere which only create the desire for domination by one over the other, without any economic certainty developing. Here we follow the example of the nations in creating separate chances of development for each of our racial groups. We seek to give the opportunity for cooperation in a novel way by the creation of a Commonwealth of Southern Africa as our ultimate aim.
Want ik denk het was zo'n groot ideaal wat hij gehad het. En de mens is jammer, mens is hartseer. Dat het niet kon, hij het niet kon beleven. Maar Oranje is in een mate de vervulling van zijn droom. Zijn droom van een onafhankelijke staat voor elke volksgroep. Zo zien ons Oranje. En daarom is het voor mij wonderlijk dat u nou hier kom en kom zien hoe dit gaat.
Wat was jouw mans droom?
Apartheid. Noem dit nou maar apartheid. Dat is een lelijke woord. Maar het betekent maar net afzonderlijkheid. Dus het is niet onderdrukken nie. Dus niet, ons wil glad niet die mensen onderdrukken. Ons wil hulle gee wat hulle toekom, maar dan moet hulle vir ons ook gee wat ons toekom.
Maar dit heeft niet in Zuid-Afrika gewerkt, die apartheid nie.
Nee, dit het nie kans gehad om te werk nie. Ek dink, as hy sou geleef het, as hy eerste minister sou gebly het, dan dink ek sou dit gewerk het. Ons wil nie alleen wees nie, ons wil met die ander saamwerk, maar op 'n basis van gelykheid. As state by mekaar kom, soort van statebond van nasies. Dit is ons ideaal. Dit is wat hy graag wil hê. En ek dink persoonlik hy was op pad daarheen toe dit gebeur het.
Ons dink is noodsaaklik om met 'n volksstaat te begin, omdat ons in die nuwe Suid-Afrika geen kans sien vir die Afrikaner volk om op die lang duur te bly voortbestaan nie.
Ons voorouders het baie gedoen in hierdie land. En ons wil graag behou wat hulle vir ons in die vroeë republieke gekry het. Transvaal en Vrystaat, jy weet. Waarom sal ons nie weer 'n eie republiek kan hê nie?
Goed, ons sê die groot trek was 'n baie beslissende stap in die geskiedenis van die Afrikaner volk. En ons het oor die jare die binneland van Suid-Afrika beskaafd gemaak. Ons het hom ontwikkel met die hulp van die swart en kleurlingvolkere wat hier was en wat hier ingetrek het. Ons het saamgewerk. Ons het vir hulle gebring op 'n standaard van lewe waar hulle nooit sou gewees het as dit nie vir die Afrikaner volk se groot trek was nie.
My voorouers met die Ossewa trek. Ja. Ek dink verskriklik baie van hulle want hulle het 'n baie vaste oortuiging in God gehad. Kyk maar met die geval van Bloedrivier. Hulle was maar 364 boere tussen 10.000 kaffers en hulle het net gesê kyk God, ek kan nie verder gaan nie, jy moet oorneem en God het die kaffers in hulle hande gegee. So ek glo werklik as jy glo in wat God vir jou gesê het jy moet doen, sal hy sy nasie help.
Julle gelukkig hier in Oranje.
Baie gelukkig.
Hoekom?
Ja, dit is eintlik by jou mense. Dit is alle tipe mense hier. Een volk te wees. Almal een is lekker.
En ons is baie gelukkig hierso, maar ons sal nie hier bly nie. Hoekom nie? Ons gaan nie saam met afstigse politiek nie. Hulle sê nie blankes is ook welkom hierso in Oranje en ons wil dit glad nie hê nie. Ons wil ons ras eg hou sonder blankes, nie blankes wat sal kom sê hulle is ook Afrikaners en hulle ons tradisie en kultuur gaan nasit.
En waarvandaan sal mevrou toe gaan?
Ek sal enige plek in die Republiek gaan of oor see waar ek weet waar daar 'n wit-blanke volk staan net vir blankes Suid-Afrikaners sal wees.
Wel, ons is teen kommunisme. Weet, 100%. Dis al wat ons teen is. Eintlik regtig teen is. En dan natuurlik hierso nou wat nou hier gebeur. Al ons huise is oop. Daar is nie diefstal en daai soort van dinge en jy hoor nie dronkes wat skreeu en raas. Jy weet mos hoe gaan dit in die dorpe. Vanaand op 'n Saterdag of 'n Sondag. Sondagmiddag kan jy nie slaap nie. Hierso is jy stil soos 'n muis.
Of hulle spit 'n kaffer se kop af in die straat of jy sien 'n lijk hang oor die toilet. Dis 'n gewelddadige plek. Jy weet geen oordentlike mens kan daar bly nie. Jy is seker van jou lewe as jy verbore opstaan en werk toe gaan jy vanmiddag by die huis kom. Is jou huis, het hy al afgebrand of is jou huis nog soos jy hom agtergelos het?
Hulle het die vlak bereik waar hulle ook hulle self kan regeer. Ons het oor hulle geregeer. Ons kon nie daarmee aanhou net om ander volkere te gebruik om vir jou te werk, maar jy gee nie vir hulle die geleentheid om ook hulle nasionalisme uit te leef.
Maar die Afrikaners is ook baie bekend dat hulle sê nee, dis swarte werkie wat julle nou maak.
Die swarte se werk.
Swarte se werk, dit is nie vir die mense.
Die swarte kan dit miskien kom doen, maar hy gaan dit nie so doen soos wat 'n wit man doen. Nog nie so swarte gekry. Ek het al duisende gewerk van subkontrak, so ek gedoen het hier is die hele lewe deur. Dit is onder hulle maar. Moet hom oppas.
Ek kan nie met die swartes, hulle werk te swak. Man, hy vat nou 'n ding en dan sal hy nou so maak. Kyk eers of nie iemand sien wat hom gesien het. En dan tel hy stadig op. Die wat ek daar gesien het, hulle het so gewerk en toe het ek nie gesê nee, ek sien nie meer kans daarvoor nie. En my gevolg is toe. Want kyk aan Japan. Kyk hoe werk daai mense. Dis waarom hulle vooruit gaan. Is dit nie? Hulle gaan vooruit omdat hulle so hard werk. Jy sien nie daar een, ek het gesien in China, hulle werk so. Nou hier by ons, vat jy 'n dag om so ver te werk.
My vrou woon nie in die swarte se oude huise. Hoe kom my vrou daar woon? Hier is die huise was mos die swarte.
Voor ek hier ingetrek het ek hom eers geverf en gefumigate. Dit was gelukkig nie swart huise nie, maar kleerlinghuise. So ek het hom eers skoon gemaak voor ek ingetrek.
Waarvandaan kom mevrou?
Van Mclair af.
Hoekom is mevrou daarvan weggekom?
Omrede die kaffers die wittes probeer regeer het.
Dit is nie 'n situasie wat vir altyd kan voortbestaan, dat een volk oor 'n ander heers nie. So hulle moet hulle eie regering kry en ons moet ons eie regering kry. En dan leef ons lekker langs mekaar saam in vrede.
Wat dink mevrou van die mense wat na Zambië trek in daai plekke?
Wel, Zambia is seker nou 'n bietjie rustiger, nie na die oorlog uitgebreek het. Dis mense wat bang is om vir hulle eie land te veg wat wegtrek. Daar's altyd die paar wat agterbly om die waar deur die drif te trek, die wat die moed het om dit te doen.
Is mevrou een van hulle?
Wat die waar deur die drif sal trek? Ja, my afstammelinge is almal mense wat die oorlog deurgemaak het. Nee, ek sal. Vir my volk sal ek sterf. Ek sal my lewe gee vir hom.
Ons het simpatie met mense wat sê ons gaan veg. Ons sê net, as 'n mens veg, dan moet jy weet waarvoor veg jy en wat maak jy as jy klaar geveg het. Die feit is, ons sit in Suid-Afrika met 'n gemengde samelewing van verskillende volke wat heeltemal geïntegreer is. Hoe gaan ons hulle weer uitmekaar uitkry? Ons sê met oorlog gaan julle nie uitmekaar uitkry nie. So ons sê, ons gaan eers praat, ons gaan eers probeer om op 'n vreedsame wyse op ons eie te gaan. Dan hoef ons nie te veg nie.
Ag nee, ek sê jou reguit sê dat klerk is 'n sot, want as hy sy Bybel gaan oordentlik lees, sal hy hoor dat jy mag glad nie eers met 'n kaffer om een tafel sit nie, en dit staan tog in Deuteronomium 23 en vorentoe geskryf. Jy mag glad nie met 'n kaffer meng nie. Want die Bybel beskryf hom tog in die Bybel as 'n dier. 'n Kaffer is 'n dier, hy is nie 'n mens nie.
Ons is 'n Christenvolk. En dit is nie te rym met rasisme nie. So ons ag nie ander mense minder as onsself nie, maar ons sê ons verskil van hulle. En ons wil ons mense wat by mekaar hoort, by mekaar hê. Waar ons dieselfde kultuur, dieselfde tradisies, dieselfde geskiedenis met mekaar deel en een toekoms vir ons wil uitbou. So ons is nie hier as rasiste nie.
Maar kyk, die blankes wil ons so saam in die kaffers staan, die NP, die nasionale party wil ons saam in die kaffers wees. Hulle wil albei saam in die kaffers wees en saam met hulle bly en hulle tradisies hê. En ons blankes wat aan die een kant soos die APP, ons wil een kant wees en ons boere se en ons voortrekkers se voorgeslagte volk, soos hulle gebly het en geleef het. Dis dat ons dieselfde teen Oranje wil. Ons wil een kant wees en nie saam in die kaffers is nie.
Hoe oud is jy?
15.
En jy sal jy vir die veg?
Ja, ek sal enigheid gaan veg. En sal my oproep sal ek gaan, die AWB. Maar as hy EB de Klerk is army is, sal ek nie opgaan nie.
Hoe sterk is die AWB?
34.000 man sterk.
Julle sal allemaal veg?
Ja, is allemaal veg.
En as jy doodgaan?
As jy doodgaan, gaan ons dood. Jy siel gaat op na die Here toe.
Nou sal ons maar weer die Here vra om ons weer hier deur die donker te help, al is ons 'n handjie vol.
En dink jy hy sal?
O ja, hy sal. Op God kan jy altyd vertrou.
Hier 'n petrol. Ek het 'n probleem met hierdie saak. Wat hier 'n petrol is. Nee, ek het hom nie. Maar ek het 'n probleem vir 'n lang tyd al. Okay, probeer maar laat ons.
opgeruimd, hè? Ja, dan kijk je met zo'n wijs. Hij weet gelukkig met zijn kamer. Ik denk die feit wat jy dan al 'n paar jaar hier is, weet behoort hulle te weet wat is dit dan. Dis toch nog voorbij. Oké. Je kan hem sommer so sprei.
Ek het net ook hier ingegooi, ja. Hier is al 'n bietjie.
This is the area where the voortrekkers stayed when they arrived in this Tabanshu area. Well, the first Boer Parliament was elected here, but then they started with the typical Afrikaner politics. They separated here, and that's typical of the political situation today. There's no unity between the Afrikaans people. We should be together, helping each other, stand together, but that's not possible with the Afrikaans people. They're always a lot in Afrikaans we say dwarstrekkers. Living in Tabanshu as part of the Republic of Botswana is so much nicer at this stage, especially with all these political troubles we've got in South Africa. They're a friendly lot of people. We don't live in danger. People coming here to visit us always ask, is it safe to stay in Tabanshu? But you know, I feel much safer here, even in this black living areas. Heerlijk, man!
Ek is direk net. Ek is mooi. Kyk hoe lekker is. Kyk hoe lekker is dan. Mooi.
My naam is Jackson, Paramount.
Mooi dat ding.
I see you also graduate.
Graduate net. Maar ek is mooi, ek is net so lelik, maar want ek het die.
Oh, jy het 'n mombakkies op.
Hey. Jy sien dit. Wat mombakka?
Dat jy ook aan die kruis gaan het, sodat ons daardeur verseker word ons het ook die versoening ontvang. As ons in hom glo, is ons verlos. Ons bid in Jesus naam. Amen. Mike, this is my wife.
Hello.
This is my Mrs. Kotzer. She's the headmaster of this nursery school. The Tabanshu is this school is about 11 years old now. 15 years old, and there are a lot of happy kids here.
We've got the black children and we've got colored and little Indian children and Taiwanese.
There's also 2 Israeli children in the school.
This is the new South Africa.
Now I'm optimistic. I believe everything is in the hands of God, so He will say to us that the best will happen, and if not, maybe it's the way to talk to the world. And that's a big problem in South Africa, that they don't want to communicate with each other. They must, otherwise we'll end nowhere. There must be negotiations between the different parties.
What do you think of the RVB that are in fighting?
I'm not going to tell you what I said in the when we had lunch, but I think they're playing stupid. Because they're afraid of that they may lose their white skins. And they're afraid of themselves. How they can stay in South Africa without black and colored and Indian people and the normal Afrikaans people or white people, I don't know. There was a stampede of the blacks. So they started to use water guns. People came again, and then they used tear gas. There was another stampede of the people, so they used rubber bullets. That helped for a while, and then they set the dogs on them. And that was the end of it, of the street march. And this journalist asked this head of police, why did you use first water, then tear gas, and then rubber bullets? You should have used the dogs from the start. I said, no, the problem is first we have to wash them, then we have to fumigate them, then we have to tenderize them so that the dogs can bite them. That's not a good joke. That's a real political one. I just want to make an excuse for our church, because you'll see the windows are much damaged, but it was because of a terrible hailstorm we had last year. But we're waiting for the new windows. Enjoy your stay.
Thanks, Ron.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Are we going to have a beer now?
Right.
That will be very pleasure.
Nou is een man doors hoor. Ja, ik zie je.
Zo raak je gemiddeld. Zo raak je gemiddeld. Dames en heren, met de boeren. Wat zoekt de klerk bij Mandela? Zeker een Winnie Mandela pruik voor zijn kale kop. En ik wonder hoe zal hij lijken, voorzitter, met een Winnie Mandela pruik. Zeker net zoals hij is, zo lekker deur mekaar.
And look, it's not my fault that I was born white. I'm proud to be a white man. But it's not the fact that I don't have to apologize to be, because I'm a white man.
You don't have to apologize for
Yeah. Yeah. I beg your pardon?
Are you happy with the changes?
Very. Very. Look at the progress we've made since FW de Klerk took over the government. There's all of a sudden there's international. We welcome into the international sport situations. The investments from the only thing that bugs me is that the whole world, they want to see. I feel they want to see you give everything to the blacks to be able to support us. It's not. That's not the point. It's not fair. It's not fair.
The people you've been speaking to around here seem very frightened. There have been a lot of murders around this area of people.
No, that you can understand. I mean, when I went on leave now, I came back and I walked into the house. I said to my wife, "Yes, I'm so glad to see that my TV and my hi-fi, everything is still standing there." Because the whole time you were away, you worry about what's going on at home. You see, that's natural because but I think because of the unemployment rate or the percentage of unemployment in this country, that's why things are going that way. If we can bring down the unemployment.
Why is the unemployment?
How do we bring the unemployment right down?
Why is the unemployment in South Africa?
Because of the uncertainty.
Outside countries are taking their business somewhere else because of the problems that are caused in South Africa at the moment.
Yes, I agree.
Therefore, we're sitting with the people that need jobs.
Yeah.
It's been taken away from us.
But the other thing,
but it's not my fault.
It's not your fault. It's not my fault. It's not my
It's
wife's
not my fault as a white man because the Verwoerds and those people brought in apartheid. There's a law in this country. It's not my fault. My forefathers, my families never voted for the Verwoerds and the Nationalist Party in those days. Now I've got to live with, I've got to now live and be pointed as a white man and be wrong because of what other people. It's not my fault.
No, William.
This back to basics. Basics. You've worked, all right, they haven't had the opportunity, so they say. But how many millionaires are in Soweto today? How many millionaires are in Soweto today? How did they get that opportunity? How did they get that opportunity to become rich? They stood over there. They stood up for their own self. Now, I've worked for years. This is my lifelong dream, is to get a hotel. And now, they want to walk in and take it away from me. No, that's bullshit. But you know, when it comes from, that's the idea, that these people just, they were promised. When we were in the bush in 75, the propaganda that they got was that you can go into South Africa, Greg, listen, you can go into South Africa, we're going to give you all these houses. That was the propaganda that we got, that they got, the blacks got. That they can come into South Africa, they showed them pictures of houses that they were allowed to get there. Choose from, to choose from. Now, why is it that they can't? We give them equal rights, fine.
No, but that's
let them work for it.
That's a misconception.
The misconception on their side, yes. On their
We
side.
named apartheid. There is racial discrimination all over the world. But we put it on the books.
The biggest racists
That was our problem. We made it a law. If we never made it a law, America is even worse than South Africa.
The biggest racists are the blacks.
They are.
They're the biggest racists.
Now, you tell you something, if Nelson Mandela becomes president here tomorrow, it's going to be apartheid in reverse. We're going to be the blacks. We're going to be the suppressed. And they're going to be the supremes.
You know what's going to happen? If Mandela comes into power, you're going to get the richer going to become richer because, and the thieves are going to become richer. Yeah, look but how many ethnic groups are there? What's happening in Lesotho today? There is no money. Money has been pumped into Lesotho. And there is not. Look how many starving people. Look at the corruption. Take it.
Second government officials riding with vehicles.
Yeah, but hang on a minute.
In Lesotho with what vehicles? Vehicles that we can't even afford.
Why?
But yet the guy's begging for money on the street for food.
Right. That's why
they're willing to work for 4 rand a day.
I want to say this. That FW de Klerk is not going to hand over.
He better not, because he's
but he's not. He's an open-minded man. He wants the best for everybody.
But look at it. Why is it in all these African states, they're all run by the military? They can hold an election today. And like in Lesotho, take Lesotho now. They're going to hold an election now. There's 41 states, 41 parties that are going for election. Man, over the next day, 2 days, it's going to become a military state. Upper Goza here in the Ciskei, what about this up here in the Transkei? They're all military people. Why must we whites always have to pay our way for the black people? I say give them equal pay, too. Their credentials. However, not. I will show you this.
But they only earn $120 a month. How can you expect him to pay for it?
My blacks are earning 2,000 rand a week. A week.
This is rule. If I as a white man earn 2,000 rand a month or 2,000 rand a week, I must pay so much percentage. That percentage I must pay on taxes. Because I'm a black man, it doesn't mean I don't have to pay that.
I'll show you now.
It's a book. It's a rule, man.
It's a rule for the whites and it's a rule for the blacks. I will show you that salary scale that we're working on.
Hallelujah. 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 To revive us again. We walk down the street, we knock on the door, the lady said, you be your people. Hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah.
It's a lot like you.
Wet. So it's always raining. No. That's why it's a good pool. Yeah. Geen meisjes. Oh, yeah.
So does the politics interest you in this country, yeah?
Very much so.
What do you think of the present state of affairs?
I think the government's making a mistake.
Mistake? Why? What should they do?
Because the blacks in this country, they want to take, they just want to share the country with us. They want to take it. They want to have the country. That's my opinion. They want an interim government. Then our rights will be taken away. Because their votes are worth much more than ours. Because they're more than us.
I disagree with this. Because most of the blacks are Zulus and other groups, and they don't like the ANC. And when the ANC, when they vote, they're gonna they aren't gonna vote for ANC. So I don't think the black government's gonna take over.
Wat is soort muziek hou jy van?
Heavy metal.
Guns N' Roses.
Ach ja, jy luister sakkie.
Nee.
Hallo julle.
Hallo.
My wife knows it's my first priority. I like it. She's coming second. My musical's coming first. And she knows. No, she likes it. She's always there for me.
I'm careful that camera.
Tell me, what do you think about your husband's station? Like music?
I like it.
You like his music?
Yeah, I like it.
50 kg special.
48 rand.
Daaronder kan die zak, daaronder kan die zak. I'm not interested in politics and so on, but like I said, it's the one hand washes the other hand. That's what's going on here. See, if he can't buy from me, where will I get my money from? How will I live? See, that's a reason, that's what I said. But everything is changing here in South Africa now, that's for sure. The first thing, they take apartheid away. There we got all our sports back. There was the report cycling things last weekend here. Germany was here, Australia was here, England was here. But before that, no, that country was not here. So there was no country that we can play rugby with or nothing like that. Look the difference what happened now. And I'm with that. I support it, that's for sure. Hoor Boetie.
Goeiemôre, mister. Van dit?
Ja, goed, en jy?
Nou, help nie, niemand luister nie.
Niemand gaan help luister nie. Jou sakkoek mee lê nog vir jou en wag.
Want ek het eintlik 'n bietjie 'n probleem. Anders kan hom miskien môre koop.
Nee, ek hou hom hierso, hy lê hierso, hy lê. Ek hou hom vir jou.
Hy is eintlik vir my, né?
Is vir jou, ek verkoop hom vir niemand nie.
Dankie.
Ek hou hom vir jou vas.
Alright, totsiens.
Nee, totsiens. Yeah, he's a Koen, he got his own business in the compound here, in the coloured town. He's baking, making some cakes and breads and things, and he sold it to the kids in the school. Yeah, so he got his business. He can't get a job, now he must do something to live on himself.
But for yourself personally, what's your biggest dream? Did you have any more dreams? Adil, something you really want to do one day?
To ride a Mercedes when I will be big. There's so many people here that we haven't got work to do. There's so many people laying around, like my son. He's finished your school. I can't get work for him. He's working in the shop now just to get something that he can live on. But I hope with the new South Africa change, it will be much more better for South Africa. That some other countries will put money in this town and in this country, and where they can get some jobs for all the people of us.
Can you just come to the side, please? Now I'm having a complete sale. I'm stopped farming and now selling out everything. At this stage I'm retiring.
Why not?
Oh well, I've got the first place back problems, and otherwise I got a good offer for the farm, and I just took it because I don't think at this stage there's any money more in farming at this stage. For our wool and mower, we roughly get a quarter of what we got 3 years ago.
Nardes en Anna Inslin, baie hartelijk welkom hier op hulle algehele uitverkoping. Namens ons, WKBV Sentraal, baie hartelijk welkom. Wanneer die volgorde van die veiling gaan wees, gaan hierdie ooie met die lammetverkopers, gaan hierdie rij af. Maak het met die staaf klaar, dan gaan het met die bokke aan. En dan die perde. Right, gentlemen. Okay, to start with lot number 1, 78 years. Hier die ooie 6-7 maanden volop. Help for that, come here, start your gentlemen, 150 rand to start pay. 150 anyway to start with sharp now. All right, gentlemen, to start with 120. What for 120 rand? All done. 100 rand to start with, thank you, sir. 100 rand. Thank you, sir. 100 rand of what offered. 100 rand again, 100 rand again, 100 rand again, 100. 100 rand again, 100 rand again, 100 rand. I'll take two now. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, sir.
108 ooie daai. Maar jy moet self vir die manne sê hoeveel wil jy in 'n hokkie hê. Okay.
Ja, die skaap laat man. Ja, die skaap nie klaar. Kom man, jy sê. Die skaap laat man sukkel. Hey, moet oppas. Hoe kan jy sê moet? Kom die agter toe loop.
man. Bring die been. Ken die been aan, want ik kan jou helpen. Die geef ons niks aan nie. Hoe gaat het jou helpen? Ja, hy staat hier op hem. Nee, dit is jou wat er man so sukkel, man. Kom! Kom!
I decided for myself, you know, to get out of farming. Unfortunately, at this stage, this drought, the high interest rates, lots of farmers are forced to leave the farming community, and that's a sad story. That's a sad story. The low prices, I mean, we can't carry on like that. That's not the nicest thing to see your stuff that you collected over the years and see they go, you know. Luckily, most of my stock, I know it's not for slaughtering, I know it's breeding stock. So I'm happy about that.
Have fun, enjoy ourselves, get footloose for the weekend, you know.
What do you guys all do?
Get pissed.
For a living? No, for a living.
No. Engineers, doctors, pilots. Flying Boeing 747.
Panel beaters and spray painters. Glass makers.
Engineers.
Glass makers. Horses.
So what do you guys think of politics in this country? Does it concern you at all?
What is that? Politics. No, really, we're just going to make the best of what we've got, that's all.
Are you positive about the future of this country?
No, so what future?
What future, yeah?
Really?
What future?
As long as they don't take our motorcycles away, then we're happy.
You guys are like the modern day foot trackers, no?
Yeah. Have you seen a traditional weapon? It's a kitty. Dinosaurs, and I shoot breakfast for the guys in the morning.
Elephant. And if he's naughty, we just do elephant.
You see, I shoot them and then you on.
And I come and I cut them open.
Alright, where is our boys also after?
No, why? We don't make shit, no. Never.
Where do you guys come from?
Oh, Middelburg, Ermelo, Bethal, Pretoria, Joburg, Eastern Transvaal.
Yeah.
It's the Eastern Transvaal Club.
So why do you go to Swaziland?
Just for a run. Just to have a ball.
Because the booze is cheap there.
And the petrol.
And the petrol is cheap.
The petrol is cheap, but booze is expensive.
Yeah. And you can see blue movies.
Yeah.
It's legal. So what we not do. Alright, let us ride. Okay.
Okay, excuse us. Okay, enjoy your trip for it. Thanks.
Bye-bye, guys.
Yeah, well, fairly, I mean, if you can see, this mountain has still got vegetation, and that's on the South African side. And just other side, that all the mountains are actually quite barren. They've got no trees. because the Sotho's, they use it, they use it for firewood and they use it to build their huts. And because the population is growing so much there, they're actually taking out all the trees and everything for firewood. Coal and things are very expensive, and gas stoves and things we use, and they just can't afford it. I mean, most of them just live off the land, or live with family that supports them, either going to the mines or wherever else, and they actually send money back and they use that. So they can't actually afford gas stoves and buy anthracite and things like we do. So they just use all the trees. Well, a couple of years ago I spent a lot of time in Lesotho, and that helped me sort of understand that where there's a black government and where they rule, they are actually better than what you are, and that's the way they feel, and their law actually enables them to feel that way. But the right-wing guys, if you look at their point of view, they really believe they are anti a black government. So if a black government does come in, they are actually going to retaliate, and because of them retaliating, you're going to get blacks retaliating back, and eventually it'll be white against black. So yeah, you could be optimistic, but I don't know if it'll help much. It's easy for a lot of people to say, look, it's a new South Africa, you have to actually just accept it, but in your subconscious it's there, it's been there all your life. I mean, you've been brought up that way. So now when a black turns around and actually questions something you say, you get upset with it, but afterwards you actually question it. Why did you get upset? And then you find out it's just because, you've been brought up that way and you're used to. For a guy that's in his late 30s or 40s, to tell him now that he has to change the whole way he's been brought up is quite difficult. Because, we've always grown up that the blacks are inferior and so the lesser of us. And now all of a sudden you have to change and you have to actually accept that the blacks are becoming the same as you are.
You've got a problem with your clutch. It's got free play, but it's still slipping. In other words, the clutch plate is worn out. Now, obviously we've got no spares here, and we've got to order spares, and it's a fairly big job. So,
no spares in Wheeler?
No, definitely not for this at all. Not for your car anyway.
How long does it take to repair?
Well, normally about 3.5, 4 hours, the labour part. But I say, unfortunately, we got the overnight or 2 days or the weekend in the space, in trying to get a space here. This is our snag.
And that night they were watching TV. Him and the little son, luckily they were lying flat on the stomach watching TV, and the little daughter was sitting in a chair. The folks were in the bedroom already. And all of a sudden there was this big explosion. We heard afterwards it was a hand grenade, but one of these old Chinese hand grenades got a wooden handle. I know that because I've seen that in my past. In any case, when she heard the explosion, she jumped up, and as she jumped up, they shot her through the window. And it was a fatal wound. They couldn't save her. And my kid and his mate, they stayed down. They lay down. But my kid was drinking cool drink out of a glass. And this glass that he put on a little table just next to him, they shot that to pieces.
What's his name?
Tok-toks.
At the moment I'm scared the dogs will eat her or something like that. But she's scared outside.
Yeah.
In the house, she runs all over the house.
Yes,
She's
lots
dead
of buck.
happy.
We've got lots of buck. We've got
Buck and
mountain,
porcupine.
yes, a mountain rebuck, a porcupine, and you name it.
Do you shoot it?
No, I shoot the porcupine, but not the buck, Shane. No, I'm a lover of nature. I love Africa too much.
No, she gets a bottle 3 times a day.
My friend, this has been right around the world. You won't believe it. This is my latest one. I've got about 100 placards like this. I make a new one every week. Give me a kiss. I said, I've got the right to say what I want on my vehicle. This is my vehicle. Leave it alone. And I'm telling you, Mike, the police came out and they said, Eddie, this is causing confrontation. I said, causing confrontation? I said, the truth? Eddie, please take them down. I said, I refuse. This is my democratic right to write what I like on my vehicle. And when I looked again, I had 7 police around my vehicle.
looking after my vehicle, but it's not my fault that there's no more peace and there's violence in this country. It's not my fault that the rule of the jungle has come back to this beautiful country.
Another thing, people from Lesotho, they don't come and buy here so often as they used to, because there's so many policemen and so many army in the area, patrolling the area. And they're scared of uniforms, like I suppose it's like all over the world. If you see many policemen, many army guys, you're scared of it. So that did hit business quite hard. There was one incident with Eddie in the same chemist. Moses, my black assistant's son, he was involved with the police at one stage. But one day he was just walking past in the streets like a normal guy walking past there, and Eddie called him and said, "Hey, come here." And he said, "No, I'm not coming to you." So Eddie got out of his car with a revolver in his hand and he chased him. So he ran in here and he went in the back into private. Eddie ran after him without even asking permission, and he tried to get over that wall because he said he's going to kill this little guy, this black guy. So my wife eventually got him away, and then she asked him, "Why did you chase him? What do you want to do with him?" So he said, "No, he's a guy who will shoot at policemen and we don't need them here in town." Then she went and she went to the police, SAP, and he took a statement, and we got a letter from the prosecutor saying that they're not going to prosecute in the case. That was end of story. So you can take for yourself what I think of Eddie from Malta.
I don't have television in my house. I hate it because it's a brainwashing technique of the one world government to intimidate the people. So they think because they can infiltrate every house, everybody's going to be intimidated. My whole group aren't allowed to watch television. We don't want it. You know? Yes? I mean, we believe that television is part of the devil's game to totally destroy you and make you, what shall I say, abstract in this world.
I would say 10% people are afraid on the one side, on the left-hand side, and say 10% on the right-hand side are afraid. And they want to kill, and they want to kill, but the majority want to live in peace. I know the Lesotho quite well, the Basotho quite well. And many of them grew up on farms. Say they were youngsters of 10, 12 years, and their fathers worked for a farmer. I take an example. And the farmer did something against the father. He never forgets that. And he remembers that. And now that weapons are so freely available, even on the black market, you can buy an AK-47 for next to nothing. They still remember that grudge, or they still bear that grudge, and they go back and kill them. I think, my personal opinion, I think that's the reason of the killing. I don't see any politics in it. No.
The phone rang to say, "Hey, Eddie, one of your best friends has just been murdered." He had been to town in Senegal to do a bit of weightlifting, pumping iron, and he came back home that night, last night, at 5 to 9. As he opened the door, a black used his own pistol and shot him.
We went through a spell from 86 to about 1990, where they boycotted the schools and so on. So there are many guys who are about 21, 22 now that never finished their schools. And there are no work opportunities at the moment. And they became gangsters. Unfortunately, black guys, because of the schools who closed in and so on.
Oh, it's just straight terrorism. It is nothing else. Lots of people say it's a criminal element. It isn't, gentlemen. Do not forget that the ANC said that they're going to move the onslaught from the townships to the towns, and that's all it is. It's straight terrorism. This is not urban terrorism, rural terrorism. That's all it is.
So this isn't the ANC, is it?
Oh, for sure. Who else is it? Call it the PAC. Both of them the same. They are in the same pocket. They say they're not, but we firmly believe they're the same. They're working for one thing, the total destruction of South Africa.
Look, at the moment, it's not going so well, but I'm very optimistic. I think we've got the right leader. We've got all respect for Mr. de Klerk and Mandela and Mr. Buthelezi, and I think they can sort it out.
Days of rage. Can South Africa stop the killing? Mandela's leadership in crisis. Here, it is a year and 3 months later, they're stoning each other to death. I mean, this is the type of thing. People must be told the truth. And because of this, I put this stuff on, and boy, the guys don't like it. Listen, The flag doesn't like it when you put pictures like that on your vehicle. I mean, this is wicked. This is a crying shame that a child of God would be mutilated like this. This is open revolution. Look at this one. Hey, my friend, this is out of Time magazine by Adu. I mean, no man can say there's a dignity of humanity there when they say apartheid suppressed the people. I mean, apartheid didn't suppress nobody. Apartheid just guaranteed everybody peace and stability and security. So what if they didn't have the vote? Who wants the vote when you're dying of hunger? I don't mind. God made them that way. I don't hate him. But my friend, don't give him power, man. When you give this man power, he's power hungry. He's going to destroy himself and you.
We've been exposed for a long time in this country by propaganda on the news and everything like that, that the ANC is a lot of devils with little horns on here, that they are communist and that they are terrorists and things like that. We were never exposed to their policies and things like that. Most of the people do think that the ANC is bad. But I do think that the people do know me and the people in my area do trust me. And they do nothing against me, and sometimes it's a little bit difficult. It's not so easy to get a loan from the co-op anymore, but they don't. It's not because I'm an ANC they don't give me the loan. They just make it a little bit more difficult. Sometimes they talk to my wife and to my kids, but they don't talk to me. I don't know why, but I think in their heart they do know that I'm right and that one I've got the freedom to join any political party would like to join.
The whole thing is, the problem in our country is poverty and the agricultural side, and the land in this country can have a great contribution to the upliftment of the people as a whole. And it can in fact put agricultural again on the forefront in our country of giving more people the opportunity to farm the land. For instance, myself, I hire 13 farms. So there is a lot of people in this country who own land but who don't want to farm it. And I think it's high time that land should be owned by the people who want to farm it.
Hello, Bernie.
Hi, how are you?
All right.
Yeah, no, I don't think that there are many women involved in politics nowadays, but I think the women has the same role as any other citizen in New South Africa and the same responsibility as any other person. I don't necessarily see that it has to be women that play a role in politics, but I'm sure that there are many more Afrikaner women entering the labour field and so on today. So I don't really think that it is an issue, the fact that there are not many women involved in politics. I mean, I have a full-time job, but which I find very rewarding, but I've got no desire to enter politics. I'm satisfied with my job that I do, and I find it very satisfying.
Do you think you have the same ideals as Cass has?
Political-wise?
Yeah.
Yes. I cherish sympathies politically, although I'm not a member of the ANC, like he is. But my tomato, like if you opzet in please. But I feel I've got the same political sympathies.
Phone the mayor and ask him where is his reply. We are waiting for his reply. We're not acting on it already because he phoned us and he told us he will fax it. So you guys can just phone him. Phone the council and ask him why, because we've been waiting here since 2 o'clock for him. Yeah. Okay. We're busy organising the ANC here. On the moment, Tulani is the press secretary of the local branch. and we're busy with a major thing. The town councils have merged without our knowledge of it, and Tulani is now busy releasing a press statement on the whole type of thing, and the other comrades is just helping. Sien Here wat ons eet, laat ons nooit die naam vergeet. Amen. Daar was Gideon wat jy gesê. Ja. Was dit lekker? Ja.
Wat het jy als nodig vir die kaas? Steek die kas? Ja, kry.
Vlees en vir my vlees kry.
Vlees?
Ja.
Waar gaan jy swem of gaan jy eet?
Swem en eet. Mens weet ons kos ook nodig.
What I believe in is that people should be actively involved in the real politics of our country. And the real politics of our country is definitely not white politics anymore. That time is over. We are talking of a true democracy, and we must be actively involved. But there's so many real capable black people in our country who are capable of running the politics. I just feel to be a farmer, I need a true democracy in this country. The people who will make sure that we do have a true democracy is the African National Congress. Therefore, I belong to it, but I want to become a farmer. There's hundreds of people who've been in exile, who've been in the University of Robben Island, who really know politics, who really know how to be politicians. I know how to farm, and I just think there's better people than me to be in Parliament. But I must be actively involved here to make sure that we really do get a true democracy. I don't understand white politics anymore. White politics, there's no politics happening. Only when you got an election, then everybody is all of a sudden involved in politics, and they don't vote policies. How can you vote policies for the last 40 years, vote for the National Party and say you vote for policies? That's impossible. Of all the corruption, it was a very bad policy, but the people do vote. So whites is more Logan type of politicians than policy type of politicians, and I don't understand that policy anymore. Each ethnic group is a root in this one tree that growing together and form in one beauty of this one tree. So that's where I see the survival of the Afrikaner, the white Afrikaner, is rather than to contract into a laar and want to have your own homeland or your volksstaat or whatever you want to call it, is rather to say, well, I'm part of this country, and part of the Afrikaner culture is to be part of South Africa. We, the Afrikaner especially, have been living very close to other ethnic groups in this country. And we in fact, the Afrikaner understand the black people in this country. I've been brought up on the back of a black nanny, Pepper, when they carry you on the back. Most Afrikaner men's nappies have been changed by black women. So we know each other, we live together. If you go to the co-op and you see this AWV mechanic there, you'll see he's working together with a black man, and they get hurt and they pick up a plow or something together. They understand, they sweat together, so they understand. But we've been kept apart, maybe because we do understand each other. The leaders decided to divide us. So the Afrikaner is just part of the whole, and that is where the future lies in, the survival of the Afrikaner lies in. And I'm proud to be Afrikaner and to be one of those Afrikaners who have already taken the step to really become a true Afrikaner and an African. Afrikaner is led out of a man of Africa, a person of Africa.